is Nafisa and Mr. Chong. So today I will present about my final year project, which is Bizchain. So Bizchain provide users with accessible and trustworthy information about business. For example, their company name, their social media account, and so on. Then the system allow user to search for business, review their details, leave a comment, and report any suspicious behavior to increase transparency and awareness to other people. So then the system empower user to make informed decision before engaging with any business. For example, they can search the business first before they want to make any payment. Then the Bizchain also promote accountability, reduce the risk of scam, and foster safer interaction between consumer and business. So for this project background is nowadays rapid growth of business has transformed the way people buy and sell products and services that allow users to access product and service more easily because everything is on their fingertip. And it also can increase the risk of fraudulent and unethical business practice like scamming. Then many consumers tends to trust business based on their appearance. For example, they believe that business that is have premises or they have a big company, that the business is legit. While this factor can provide some assurance, but they do not always guarantee that the business is trusted. Then the common issue arises when the business requires customer to book service in advance and make upfront payment. For example, in wedding planning or so on. Then the customer face difficulty in distinguishing between legitimate and dishonest business. So for the problem statement, there is three, which is the first one is risk of fraudulent business. The scamming lead to frustration, disappointment, and lack of trust in both online and physical marketplace. Then there are also limited access to business information. The information is not reliable and prevent customer from making fully informed decision and increase the risk of financial loss and negative experience. And the last one is limited consumer awareness, which is the user cannot see other people's experience and reduce overall consumer protection. So for my project, the objective is to provide a verified information, alert for potential risky business, and a system for tracking business credibility over time. Then provide comprehensive and verified business information that contain verified details about both online and physical business. Then the third one is enhance consumer awareness and reporting capabilities, which allow users to submit comment, report incident, and share verified feedback with the wider community. And the last one is support ethical business practice and trust building, which is create a visible system of verification and accountability. Legitimate business can gain recognition and build credibility. And the scope of my project is to address the key issue identified in the problem statement, and then develop a web-based application that allow users to verify and access reliable information about both online and physical business. So there are three potential user for my system, which is the first one is general consumer, which they can search for business, view details about the business, report and leave comment. So for the second one is the business owner, they can register, view user report and reply to the comment. And the last one is administrator, which they can monitor the reports, scam reports, and any inquiries. So for real-time legal enforcement, direct verification of business license by the authority, for example SSM, or integration with external financial system is not in my project. So my project is focused solely on providing information, awareness and reporting mechanism to reduce the risk of fraud and make safer business interaction. So this is my features in my project, which is the first one is the user can search for business by entering the business name, for example. Then the result will show a little bit of the information, for example the business field, store type and the address. If the user want to see the more detail, they can click on the view details. Then it will show the details of the business, which they can see whether the business is verified or not, and then can see how many users has reported the business. Then they can also leave a comment. Then they can also report the scamming company based on their experience with the company. Then there are also the careful with scammer, which will show the report that more than 10. So for example, like this business has report more like 11, so it will show at the careful with scammer. So then for business part, they can register business company. Then they can also update the business company, and then they can see the business dashboard, which can see their details of the business, can reply to the comment and like clarify themselves about the report that has been submitted by the user. So this one is the contact us page. And for admin part, the admin can see the business registration, scam reports, and the inquiries about the contact us page. And so the conclusion is Bizchain provide a secure and transparent platform for business registration and interaction by requiring face-to-face verification for fingerprint submission, which is for the registration of the business. The system ensures data integrity, confirming that information comes directly from the legitimate business owner, which they need to go face-to-face for the verification. Then the Bizchain demonstrate how authentication, accountability, and data validation are enforced. Overall, Bizchain strengthen trust, transparency, and awareness in business progress. So then I will demo about my system. So now I will register. If we don't have any account, we need to register first as a user.
So why are you using the Bizchain?
Because personally I want to do blockchain integration, but due to some of my personal problem, I couldn't do it because it need more time to do.
Why is it you consider a blockchain? Why is it you consider a blockchain?
What?
Why you plan to use a blockchain?
Because so that any data like report cannot be altered by other people.
Very good.
So for the first one is fill in the full name. Then the IC number, we need to be 18 years and above only can log into the system. So for example, input the username, the phone number, then the email address need to have the alias and .com so that it verify that that is the real email address.
Okay. Alright, I think 10 minutes is already up. So we will go for the Q&A. 1 minute. We will still record 10 minutes. 1 minit lagi.
Ada 5 minit, ada 6 minit, 4 minit lagi.
4 minit lagi.
Oh, sini dah 10.
Dah sudah 10. Kita 10.
So
Okay, it's okay, continue. I think the time is up.
then the password need to be 8 letters and above and have special character.
Is it compulsory to choose the profile picture?
No, but for demonstration.
Demonstration. Okay.
Why you put password with special character?
To enhance the security for the system, so that like very hard to like guess the password. So after they log in, they can search for the business. For example, like blueberry. So I just search blue, then it will show the blueberry and co and the blue and co. So we can select which one that we want. For example, the blueberry and co. So the blueberry and co, it will show that the business owner is reported by one user, and then the business is not verified because don't have the verified
Verified from SSM.
from this system itself, because the system still didn't integrate with the SSM. Then the user can leave a comment, for example like scammer.
So it means that your system need to verify with SSM system lah. Then after get the verification from SSM, then they give the approval that this is a true business.
Yeah. Then they also need to give fingerprint face to face lah, so that the business owner is exists.
Okay. They give the same fingerprint at SSM or at your application.
At SSM. So then it will show the comment. So when other people see the business, it will have the many comments lah. So for example, then the user also can report the business. For example, if they have been scammed, for example in Facebook, then the scam date, like for example is today, then the scam type is online shopping scam, and then they need to like explain the scam description lah. Then the amount lost, and need to submit the evidence file if there is any evidence, then they can submit. But at here will not appear yet because the report is not approved by the admin. So for example, we want to register to a company. For example, then need to upload the business logo, and then the SSM registration number is based on the real SSM number. But for this one, I will just demo. And then need to upload the SSM certificate. Then the business type, business field, And then there are two options for the store type, which is physical or online, and or both. Which mean if physical, they have the business address to fill in, but if online, there are no business address need to fill in. Then for the company email, then for example, I just put the website and the Instagram.
Okay.
Is it times up already? It's nice.
Yes.
Okay, so okay lah. So we'll stop your demo.
After dia pergi register business, apa jadi?
Then the business dashboard will appear. If they didn't have the business account, so they can't open the business dashboard page. Then if we click on the link, it will show to the link. So just like that.
Okay.